Is Jeff Reeder here?
There you go.
All right, I'd like to welcome everybody to the Public Safety Committee meeting for March 1st, 2022. With us today, we have Councilwoman Bonnie Katz, Councilman Vince Polizzi, Mayor Derek Slaughter, Chief of Police Justin Schneider, Chris Black, our IT person, Jason Bolt, Assistant Police Chief Janice Frank, our City Clerk, Sam Ungst, the Chief, our Williamsport Bureau of Fire Chief, and somebody else. Is that your, Chris? That's another account for you there, I think, too, correct? At any rate,
Yes, it is.
first up on the agenda is a resolution authorizing the purchase of WatchGuard bodywork cameras and in-car video systems with related equipment from Motorola Solutions through Keystone Communications. Do I have Bonnie, help me out here. Do I need a motion?
Yes.
Yeah, thank you.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
All right, so that's you, Chief Schneider. How are you today?
Good. How's everybody doing today? Like you said, I'm bringing before you this resolution authorizing the purchase of 48 WatchGuard body-worn cameras, as well as 14 WatchGuard in-car video systems and the related equipment from Motorola Solutions through Keystone Communications Services located in Northumberland, PA. The total cost will be at $347,293.80. This amount is to be allocated from the American Rescue Plan Act funds. Just to break it down a little bit for you, I broke it down into, we have 34 body-worn cameras at a cost of $140,760. And then we have 14 in-car cameras with an additional integrated with additional 14 body cameras for a total cost of $172,200. And then you have related equipment to include battery, software, installation, etc., which would be a total of $34,333.80. That would give us our total, as I previously mentioned, at $347,293.80. I attached a quote for you from Motorola Solutions with an itemized list detailing the cost and breakdown of the body-worn cameras, the in-car cameras, the installation, the services, and additional related equipment. This purchase to be made through Keystone Communications, who has been identified as a CoStar's participant. I attached with the memorandum to council and the mayor of the contract that we do have with Keystone through CoStars. I'll open up the floor for any questions that you may have right now.
Bonnie, Vince?
Yes, Chief. This is a lesser price, isn't it, that you first were quoted?
Yes, it is. Me and my team work diligently on working with the representatives from Motorola, trying to get the best price for the city. As you'll see, if you look at the quote, you'll see where you have the 14 in-car cameras integrated with the additional 14 body cameras. Gave us significant savings.
Fantastic. Now, this is all going to be, everything is going to work together, right? Anything that's at the station, the cars, and the cameras themselves, right?
Yes, this is all going to be integrated. What we're looking to do is we're looking to use it's called Command Central Evidence, and it's a cloud-based evidence management system that will allow all the digital evidence to be contained in one spot, and that'll be all fluid through the in-car cameras and the body-worn cameras. So yes, they all integrate and work together.
And this did go through our solicitor, right?
The contract for CoStars has gone through the solicitor before. It's the same contract.
Okay.
It's actually the same contract, just upgraded year that we utilize for the radios as well.
Okay. And how much training is going to be needed with the software? Any kind of training?
The software itself, no training is going to be needed for the software itself.
Okay. So any of the officers or anybody with the body cam doesn't need to have any training with this at all?
No, basically what happens is we're putting together right now, we're in the midst of doing a policy for the use of the body cameras. What will happen is the officers will have to go over the policy and procedures. They'll sign off on it. But the way, it's very simple the way it works. Basically, you're going to take your body camera. It's going to record everything. You're going to when you download it and put it on the dock, that's also going to charge your battery. It's going to download all the digital video or digital evidence right into the cloud.
All I can say is I'm sorry that it's taking so long to get this. This is to me, this is as vital as your radios in this day and age. I think this is such an important piece of equipment that all of our officers need. So I'm for this 100%. I'm thankful that you were able to even get a lesser price for the same quality, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. Okay. That's all the questions I have, John.
Councilman Polizzi.
Thank you very much. Chief, good to see you again.
You too, sir. How are you?
I'm good, buddy. So I'm looking through this. I had a couple quick questions. The body cameras, they come with, am I looking at that right? 50 gigabytes of non-device storage included per device. I'm guessing that's going to be like an SD or a micro SD card or something that's going to go
Is that what it is, Jeff?
in the back.
Yes, I believe so. Yes.
Okay. Yeah, you have to forgive me. The way I liken it is just pretty much like a harness with
Back call 301, please. Back.
I apologize. Is almost like the GoPro cameras. You know what I mean? Just kind of, that's how I see it. So I'm assuming it's a similar operation.
Yeah, to a degree. But if you start getting into all the technology of it, I'll have to get my assistant chief Bolt here or Mr. Black there.
Okay. I just wonder 50 gigs. So I'm curious as to whether or not that would be enough storage. We assume that'll be enough storage for, to cover an officer's entire shift.
Yes.
Okay. Without having to
Yep,
stop.
that was one of the questions that we did have, just to make sure that all that would be all that will be covered.
Okay. And if we'd ever want to upgrade that removable storage from like 50 gigs to 100 gigs, if we find out we need to, I'm assuming it's something as simple as, purchasing a higher capacity SD card or whatever that storage means is.
Absolutely.
Okay. I'm glad to hear that. And then the other question I had for you, sir, is that, obviously we're doing what we can to replace the vehicles when we can, as we can. So the 14 in-car camera systems,
Yes.
are they going in any vehicles that we foresee we're going to need to replace in the, over the 5-year term of this, or?
That's a good question. And they're easily replaceable. You can take them out as easily as you can put them in. So any vehicle that we replace, we would just take that in-car camera out and that would be replaced or put into a new vehicle.
Okay. Do we have any kind of idea what kind of financial cost that would hit us with as far as the removal of all that installed equipment to put into a new car?
I would have to double check on that for you right now.
Okay.
Right now, with anything new, it's included with this new purchase, but anything else, if we go with a new vehicle, if we do purchase a new vehicle, if you remember when we were breaking it down, the cost of the upfits for each vehicle, part of the installation of the camera, that's part of the upfits. So
Right.
that would be covered in it.
No, I appreciate it. I remember that, and it'll be certainly better once we have the cameras in our hands and in vehicles and just put them into a new vehicle. But to just mirror what Councilwoman Katz said, this is overdue. The last question I would have then, sir, is you're requesting $347,293.80 from the ARPA funding.
Yes.
What kind of impact? Do we know what kind of, what our ending balance would be then if we allocate this money to the purchase of these cameras? Bonnie, John, you have to forgive me.
We'd have to, and Joe Pavlak isn't on here, so he would be, I think, one of the ones to answer that question.
Okay, because I know we still haven't, we haven't approved the final ARPA budget. So I'm just kind of wondering, we need to make this happen for the safety of our officers and for the safety of everybody that has any kind of an interaction with our officers. So, okay, that was the only question that I had.
Mayor Slaughter.
I would just, to Councilman Polizzi's point there, I think the second reading is this Thursday. You could probably just add that in to the second reading, I believe, as you're going through that ordinance would probably be the easiest. I would defer to Norm, but I think that's probably the easiest to do it that way.
Yeah, I don't have my notes in front of me from last city council meeting, but I do believe there's already a line item in the budget for body cameras that has, as far as I can tell, is still there. And it was definitely for less or more than what we're going to be spending on these cameras. So
I just wanted to make sure. I appreciate the input,
Yeah.
Mayor and Councilman Mackey. Just want to make sure. I knew we had money allocated in the budget specifically for this. I just couldn't recall exactly what the amount was.
Yes, we went with the initial amount that we were quoted, but as Chief Schneider said, they did a fantastic job of working with the vendor to get some significant money knocked off of it. So that will help with the line item. So, thank you.
I have no.
Yeah, I can't remember what it is. My information is not handy here. But that's why I said in the very beginning that I knew this was a lesser quote.
yeah, I believe it was closer to 400,000, if I remember correctly.
Initially, yes, sir. Yep.
But just a few things, Chief, and maybe one question for Chris. Well, I guess for Keystone Communications, it's the same company that's doing the upfitting on the new patrol cars or
Yes,
the
sir.
Durangos.
Yes.
So as far as the in-car video systems go, are we going to have to transport our vehicles to Northumberland, or will they come to us to install these systems?
Right now, we've been taking them down to Northumberland to get it done. So it's a question we may be able to ask them if they're able to come up here. It's just, I believe it's going to be a little bit easier because they have their shop there and all the equipment tools that they
Sure.
need are right there, ready, available.
So then we would have to come, I'm assuming we'd have to come up with some sort of a schedule to get these cars down there and back in a timely manner.
Yeah, we've already been working that out with the 4 new Dodge Durangos that we have with doing the upfit. So my admin, and the help of, even Mr. Winder was helping us out with that as well to get vehicles down there, pick them up, bring them back. We brought 2 back, got 2 into service as we speak.
That was going to be my follow-up question. Where are we at? I know this isn't on the agenda specifically, but where are we at with those 4 new Durangos?
Actually, I just stand corrected. My assistant chief here just told me the 3rd one's out on the street now as well. We just got those. The holdup was the cages. So we had cages that were on back order from Washington State. So we were waiting on those. We got those right in the beginning of February, and then I had to wait for the installation for those and then getting those vehicles now out on the street.
Okay, great. My other question was, you said that all of this information was going to be uploaded to cloud storage.
Yes.
Are there any plans, and maybe this is a question for Chris, are there any plans to back up this information on something that's not the cloud? Something a little bit more resistant to maybe computer hacking, type attack or something like that?
Well, right now with dealing with the companies, there hasn't been an issue like that because that was our initial assessment too. We were concerned about that. But there's nothing to be concerned at with what they're telling us right now. Not to say that it could never happen, but it has not been an issue thus far.
Okay.
That's been reported to us. For us to sit there and do a backup, and Mr. Black, tell me, correct me if I'm wrong, with what we were talking about a little bit earlier, just what it would cost to do it ourselves. And you're looking in the tune of $65,000+ for us to do it ourselves and to have a server.
Yeah, and that would be with finite storage.
Sure.
Monthly maintenance on each of it, not necessarily knowing when new exploits are released and how quickly we can get to fixing them, where these guys are maintaining it on a 24/7 basis. So if something like that comes out, they can grab it right away and take care of it. The OS is constantly updated, so it's a win-win going with them.
Great. Okay. Yeah, I was just curious. Assistant Chief Bolt, do you have your virtual hand up, or I see on my,
I do. One small thing is that we also have to maintain the ability that when we have something that is significant within our reporting, that we can make physical copies of it. We can bring it in. So the things that we absolutely do need to preserve, we do have the ability to capture and maintain them.
okay, great. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the hope is that most of this footage is just run of the mill response, and, you know, we hope we don't get involved in anything where we need this for court or anything like that. So, but that's good to know. Councilman Polizzi?
Thank you. All right, so I guess just the last question I had then, Chief, just for my clarity. So we're having 34 dedicated body worn cameras. The in-car cameras, are they pretty much, they're gonna be a body camera that'll just get mounted into the car then and into the car system?
No, for cost saving purposes, what they did is they took additional 14 body worn cameras that are the same as the 34 original that we talked about,
Mhm.
and integrated them with the purchase of the in-car camera to give us a better price. So
Okay,
essentially, we're getting the 48 body cameras and 14 in-car cameras. That was just a mechanism the company used to help us save some money.
okay. I'm always a fan of savings. I just want to make sure I understood exactly what it was.
Yes, sir.
Thanks, Chief.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Councilwoman Katz?
Yes, I did go through, I did find my paperwork with the ARPA funds. We're gonna have to amend this, Chief, because with public safety, we had 470,000 for the radios and 200,000 for the body cameras, which I thought there was more in it for that. I really did.
Well, the
So-
actual, if you break it down, the body cameras are actually less than that. So the body cameras itself, the in-car, but the total of the in-car cameras and the whole camera system is what comes out to 347.
Right, but
So
this
the
is
body
what
cameras,
was,
yeah,
this
right.
was what from the ARPA funds. So this is gonna have to, be amended from the ARPA funds, okay?
Okay.
All right,
Is that going to be done by me, the amendment?
I'm gonna have to go through Norm to find out how this goes.
Now, I believe it's, like we were doing the initial reading on the previous council meeting. Council can go ahead in that line item and make the adjustment from 200 to whatever the new item is. So, I mean, I'll defer to Norm too, Councilman Katz, but when I was sitting next to him last meeting, that's what he was saying, because I was asked that question. He said, yeah, council could just go ahead and make the motion to increase that line item by 140,000 or whatever the case might be.
Okay, just be aware that this is gonna have to be done on Thursday.
Yeah, for a little clarity on that, ma'am, what happened when we initially got that, we got that from another company we were looking at. However, working with that company, when we went through and got the quote for just the body cameras alone, it ended up being over $377,000. So obviously we didn't go with that company. So,
Obviously, which is good.
so that's then initially when they gave us, that was a guesstimate price from our first meeting that we were provided by that company, that they, then they came back with a final quote that was way above what we were initially told. So,
Okay, but this is something that we'll work out on Thursday, okay, since it's gonna be the final reading. I'm
Yes,
sure there's
ma'am.
gonna be other adjustments made with the final reading of the budget.
sounds good, ma'am.
That's all.
Okay, I'm not seeing any other comments, so I will entertain a motion.
I
Make a
make,
motion. Go ahead, Vince.
I make a motion to pass this to the full body of council with a positive recommendation.
Second.
Okay, great. Thanks, Chief.
All those in favor?
Oh, aye.
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 Councilwoman Katz, she's the assistant chair.
No.
Until I figure out how to do this. Yeah. All right, well, we'll move on to the second item on our agenda. That is an update on the citizen court. I'll entertain a motion, but I don't see Jeff here. And I don't know if Mayor Slaughter could speak to this line item or not, but
So moved.
I can speak to that, John. No, you don't need a motion on that. It was just,
Okay,
Jeff Reader just comes and gives a report, and I recently had spoken to him and told him I was going to put him on to see if he had anything to report, and I sent him the link, but apparently he doesn't.
okay. Well, I did speak to Jeff late last week, and he did indicate that he was going to be at the city council meeting this week. So I guess if he has anything for us, he'll be there. So okay. Does anybody